back.
We are wearing the
My
same
name's
outfits.
Kiana.
This is
We are from the last. We're recording back to back,
yes,
so
today. I hope y'all enjoy.
just getting them out the way. But my name's Kiana,
And I'm Cheyenne.
and we are the
Novelty.
Sisters.
Sister,
So we have another.
ow. Sister, sister. Like me and ya. Everybody sees how different we are gonna be. Sister, sister, ow. Sister, sister.
I did not remember the words to that theme song. I used to watch Sister Sister like,
Girl.
because I think that was like the show on, like that show that came on right when I got home from school.
Yes. And
I was
Sister,
like,
Sister
ugh.
with the silk, where the theme song with the silk background, and when they were a little bit older, not the OG Sister Sister, but that when they hit that neo soul, sister,
Right.
sister.
Right.
We loved
But
it.
we have another kind of different episode for you guys this week. We're going to be we're going on Reddit,
Yes.
and we're bringing you guys some short stories that some people posted, and we're using the r/short stories
Yes.
thread, and they're all just from people who came on here and just delivered some short stories. So
yeah. And-
exciting stuff.
And other people upvoted it, so
Yeah.
we're very excited. You know, people be writing good on Reddit.
Yeah.
Like if
they
I'm
do.
gonna practice my writing, I'm gonna definitely hit up Reddit.
Short story.
Yeah, on like a burner.
And, but
account.
they be real blunt on Reddit. They do. Okay.
They be like, girl, this punctuation, it ain't it. It ain't it.
Like, go back and get your grammar right. I'd be like, okay, you're right. My fault.
You
my
right.
fault.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so I have one. Genre humor, right?
Okay.
Title of the short story is.
Hold on. How did you get a genre?
Do I need to send it to you?
Okay, so then I was on the right one. Okay.
Okay.
I'm back.
All right.
I'm back. Okay.
So I have a okay, we're back, guys. Had a little discussion. So mine is humor. It said the title of the short story is called "A Somewhat Validating Abduction." It says I was returned to the front of my house, and then I reached for my pocket. My cell phone was still there. I googled who should you contact in case of an alien abduction. It wasn't clear which, if any, law enforcement agency would be relevant to contact. And it was suggested that reports of this sort were not likely to be taken seriously. There wasn't a threat to national defense. Defense? As far as I could see, what had happened was pretty low-key and chill. And if there was any existing threat to national defense of this sort, I cannot say this word, y'all, I'd imagine I would be apprised of any necessary reporting protocols. But I did find a non-profit organization known for investigating UFO sightings and alien abductions. I navigated to the contact section of the website. My phone showed that it was 12:16 a.m. The website said that they could be contacted 24/7, but I wasn't sure whether to sit on it for a while, sleep on it, in case that this was really just a moment of me going batshit crazy. Was I imagining things? Maybe I could snap out of it. Some coffee and a cold shower. Was this really the same reality as everyone else's? But then I thought, it wouldn't matter if I was crazy. My world would remain the same. I wouldn't be crazy, but I wouldn't know that I would be crazy, but I wouldn't know that I am crazy in my own world. We're only scared of being crazy when there's a possibility and awareness of not being crazy. That is very true. Perhaps my awareness of being crazy dictates that I'm not crazy. But if I had gone crazy, it didn't seem that I had any clear control of the events that preceded my going crazy. My crazy life was going to be as it was going to be. I didn't want to wait till tomorrow. I wanted to report it as soon as possible. I wasn't sure if aliens had the ability to wipe memory. They hadn't mentioned anything. And I wanted to talk to somebody sooner rather than later so they could hear in my tone, while the memory was fresh, that I wasn't lying. So I called the number. Hello? A somewhat sleepy voice answered. The sound of rustling covers suggested they were rising from bed. Hi. I'm sorry if I woke you, I responded. No problem, they said. Are you calling to make a report? Yes, I replied. Great. Let me just get myself sorted out, make myself a coffee. No problem, no rush, I said, lighting another cigarette as I waited. I wonder if this was absolute batshit crazy to be doing this, if I should maybe call family or friends to vet this experience before taking it to a stranger, but I didn't want to wake my family in the middle of the night. I'd surely be crazy then. These were the authorities on such things, anyways. A few minutes later, the voice came back to the phone. Hello? Are you still there? Yep, still here, I replied. So, what are you calling to report? And an abduction, I said hesitantly. Interesting, they responded. I just want to start by saying, as I do with all reports, that I empathize with you with what you may be feeling from your experience. It can be unsettling for many people, and I just want you to know that this is a safe space and that we're here to help. And listen.
They put her in grippy socks.
That's great. Thank you so much, I said. I wasn't sure whether to reach out to law enforcement. They would be of no help, they responded. They would only judge you and stigmatize you for the report. A waste of time. You came to the right place. That's what I understood as well, I said. So, when did this abduction take place, and where are you located, if you don't mind me asking? It happened not long before I called you. Maybe a quarter to midnight. I'm in Arkansas. Thank you. And do you believe that you have any evidence, anything that may be captured, anything bystanders may have witnessed, or anything the aliens may have left on you? I don't believe so. I haven't checked my phone yet. I think my roommates are all asleep, but I could talk to them tomorrow. Fantastic, they said. Please do. If you don't mind, we would like to send a member of our forensic team out to you. I could have them in Arkansas by tomorrow evening, if that's okay with you. Yes, no problem, I responded. So, please tell me more about this event, they said. Well, I was out having a smoke before bed, as I often do, and then a disc-shaped spaceship just appeared on the front of my property, like a flash, with a dome on the top of it and everything, exactly how you would see in the movies. And then, hardly after I processed the sight, I was inside of it. It came into my mind that maybe this wouldn't have happened to me if I wasn't alone. Maybe if I was normal and had a full life with a girlfriend and a job, my life wouldn't be so muddled with such occurrences. Thank you for sharing, the man responded. And I don't mean to suggest anything, but were you using any drugs at the time of the abduction? Or have you ingested anything earlier that day? It's just something we have to ask. We don't want to invalidate your report anyway. No, I replied. Just a couple of beers earlier in the night and a few cigarettes, nothing out of the ordinary. And do you have a history with hallucinogenic drugs? Sure, I've done acid, I've done mushrooms, smoked weed here and there, but I don't consider myself far out there. Pretty normal guy, if I had to say. I did wonder whether my story of psychedelic use may have led me to becoming mentally ill in some way, but this man didn't seem to be doubting the credibility of my report. It felt good, validating. Absolutely, he responded. So then, what happened to you when you were in the ship? Well, not much, to be honest. I was in an open area of the ship, I assume the main area of the ship, an open concept ship, I suppose. I could see through the glass dome that we were whipping through space, but I couldn't feel any movement. There was what I assumed to be the control area in the center of the room, like a sunken living room. There were a few big-headed aliens. They looked exactly like you see in the movie. Big eyes, small body, skinny limbs. They didn't seem to bother by me. A surreal extraterrestrial experience, the man said. And again, not to suggest anything, but this didn't seem like any way like a dream. No similar dreams in your experience? Nope, not at all, I replied. I thought the same thing when I sat in silent drone of the ship. I questioned whether it was a dream over and over while I was there. Usually the awareness to a dream wakes me up from a dream in my experience, but I remained there. Time moved as per usual. The events seemed normal. Usually my dreams are contained only by notable events, but nothing significant was going on as I sat on the ship, pinching my skin, trying to inflict pain on myself to wake up. But I remained on the ship. It was not even paralysis. I walked around the ship, checked out the rooms. The aliens continued not to be bothered. To feel so calm while being abducted by aliens, I could have sworn I was dreaming. I even asked them if I was dreaming, and they said I was not. And told me not to overthink it. They of all people, things should know. I even had a drink of water. I can't remember a time that I had drank water in a dream, so nothing significant happened while you were in the ship. No, it was really chill. They had an out-of-the-world sound system that was playing some ambient music. It was like the music was coming from my bones. I couldn't even see any visible speakers, so I asked them how it worked. They only answered space rocks. So I asked them why they took me. They said not to overthink it. These things just happen. Oh, I actually wasn't worried at all, as I was supposed to be in that situation. They had a very calming presence. I didn't recognize they were chill like that. Nothing happened in the end. From what I was aware, we just whipped around space for a while and they dropped me off back at home. Interesting, the man said. Have there been any similar reports to mine? Any recent reports in my area? I asked. In your area? No, he replied. But these sorts of meaningless, absurd abductions, we have a few. So what does it mean then? Are they doing some sort of research on us? Are they just trying to mess with us? I don't understand. Try not to overthink it, he replied. These are extraterrestrials. We can't understand their motives. We can only try to track their activity. Maybe they were just looking for someone to hang out with. Huh, really? I asked. A surge of confidence washed over me. I felt special for a moment. I basked in the idea that I was desirable enough, unique enough to be abducted by aliens, and so unique that they didn't even do anything with me. I was chill like that as well. I always knew I was different, but then I crashed back onto Earth thinking about how no one would ever believe me. I would get no praise from this. This event would lie solely with myself, but if I could find some evidence to prove it, I would be a beacon for the world and the scientific community. My life would be sorted out. I would never need to work or search for attention or an answer ever again. It is a possibility. It doesn't sound too out of the ordinary abduction wise. I have to let you go now, but I'll ask that you give me your address and we'll have someone out there tomorrow. They'll do some canvassing of the area and see if they can gather any evidence. That was it. That was the end of the story.
I mean, yeah, I too would feel very honored and it'd feel very
Just
cool if
just
it was like,
floating
damn,
around, getting whipped around space.
y'all want to come hang out
Yeah.
with me?
Yeah.
After the anxiety wore off, they probably dropped me off a lot sooner though. They'd be like, she asking entirely too many questions. She can't just catch a
Right.
vibe.
Right. Would you tell anybody though if it happened? Would
Absolutely.
you like?
I tell everybody. I'd be like, girl, look at what happened to me yesterday. I'm
Yeah.
outside.
I got abducted, y'all. Y'all didn't notice I was missing?
Yeah, exactly that.
Right.
Exactly that. How can I be so far above this world and y'all didn't even, no one's radars went off like, oh dang, where's Cheyenne?
Right. Like she didn't come back in after her cigarette. So.
Right. Yeah, I would for sure be telling everybody whether they believe me or not. I'll be like, yeah, well, I got to see X, Y, and Z. Well, I don't know, because they probably would. Nah, people think I'm crazy already, so it's like, what do I have to lose? So for my read, I chose a thriller. This is called The Crack in the Perfect House. This is only part 1.
Ooh.
I am interested. It was
now we got.
Yeah,
parts of the series.
uploaded 9 hours ago, but it has a good amount of upvotes. So I'm like, okay, cool. Splash. It's time for you to wake up, you little sloth. My mother, somehow worse than a dragon. My pajamas dripped with water as the alarm kept shrieking frantically. Why do we have to wake up so early in the morning? Because you have to go to school. My mother's voice banged into my ears, loud and authoritative. Her answer felt alarming, almost as if she could read my thoughts, or maybe the pattern had just become obvious. Either way, I had to force my eyes open, or she would. You promised you'd wake up on your own. She sounded disappointed. It wasn't her fault. I did promise her. In fact, I promised her every day, but this time it's different. I promised Mom tomorrow I'll wake up at exactly 5 o'clock, or even 5 minutes earlier. I'm tired of the water treatment. She almost smiled, then it dropped, and a sigh lifted her bangs. Tomorrow is Saturday, but I appreciate the enthusiasm. Thanks for the idea, Nico. From now on, you're waking up at 5 o'clock every day. With that, she picked up the alarm and reset it. Oh boy. This is not fair at all. Why should I have to wake up at 5 o'clock on the weekends? To do what? What's up with me? Haven't I looked at the calendar? How did I not know that today was Friday? Question after question rolled through my head as I looked at the calendar. January. I hadn't changed it? One more thing, Nico. Your room is messy. Perhaps you should clean it on Saturday by waking up early. I sighed in relief as she closed the door. She hadn't noticed, or so I thought. I walked over to the calendar to change it, and I noticed a note written below it. Change the calendar before I mention it again. Oh no. I slapped my forehead. Nothing escapes her. After changing the calendar, I took a cold shower. It was all I needed to wash away the tiredness from staying up late doing homework. Yet something kept nagging at me. Not just exhaustion, but something heavier, unnamed, refusing to leave. As the soap slid down my arms, my thoughts drifted, slipping further and further away from me. At last, I stepped out of the shower, freezing and trembling. My eyes fell on a crack into the smooth wall. Not too big, but I was certain it hadn't been there before. I ignored it. After getting ready, I went downstairs, everything normal again. Too normal. Something stayed in the back of my mind, though. The crack. It was a great day. All of the teachers praised me for my timely work, and the best part, I'd proved my academic rival wrong for the 10th time in a row. The way she shot me a glance and quietly sat down was so vivid. My smirk was the cherry on top, sweet and satisfying. Even now, I can't stop grinning. I may be a bit arrogant, but who cares? It's all fun and winning that matters. Nothing could stop me from having fun. Even in my perfectly ordered house with gardens trimmed into perfection and windows open to let in the morning light, it was all my mother's desire to be perfect. But, I say, you need a bit of imperfection, and that imperfection in her life was me. I swung the perfect door with a bit of enthusiasm and it banged against the wall. Shoot. Who was it? My mother's voice erupted, loud enough to shake the hallway. Mom. I smiled hesitantly. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean to. I tried to scream the response, but she ordered me to come. Nico, come to your room. I obeyed. My hands were wet with sweat, legs shaking as I wiped the invisible dust from my uniform. Being seen messy now is definitely not good for you. Nico, was it you that cracked the wall? Huh? My eyes shot up. What crack? The crack. Where, Mom? I asked innocently. She pointed to the same spot that I had noticed, only slightly bigger. I stared at her, puzzled. I vividly remembered it being the size of our thumbnail, but now it's the size of a hand, like someone had kicked it or thrown a hammer. Now I understand why my mom was staring at me with her brows arched. It wasn't me, Mom, I swear. She still doesn't believe me. How could she? When the crack looks like it was kicked in anger, of course. I'm exactly the type of troublemaker she'd expect. You have to believe me. I'd never do such a thing to turn the house into imperfection. She looked at me weirdly. I believe you because you weren't the one who banged the door earlier, right? She smirked. Okay, that was me. But still, she has to believe me. Or, I don't care if she doesn't. I don't know. I saw it in the morning. It had been tiny, like a small rock. Well, I'll tell your dad. Until then, you better not touch the wall. Much better than having my ears blown. Still, it's ridiculous. How can she not believe her own son? And how did this crack even grow? I'll just leave that one for my dad to figure out. Later that day, I stretched down in my bed, letting a warm blanket hug me. A short nap, and my victorious self would be ready to face the rest of the day. The crack on the wall danced at the edge of my thoughts. Tiny. Harmless. For now. I drifted off. The crack stretched across the wall wide enough for something to move through. A sound came from inside, soft and scraping. I leaned closer. A shape moved. Something pushed through. Ah! Pain flared across my face. Crimson blood slid down my skin, spreading warmth. I stumbled back, clutching my hands to my face, sticky, shaking. Tears blurred my vision. And then I woke up. It was just a dream. I sucked in a shaky breath, rubbed my face. I glanced at the wall, the crack. I didn't know if my sleepy brain was imagining things or reality, but the crack had grown to the size of a head. Mom! Dad! And then it ends.
We're going to have to come back for part 2, okay?
What do you think it is?
Because what was in that crack? I don't know.
I wonder if it's like, I wonder if he's an unreliable narrator. Like, his mom seems to be, like, very strict. I wonder if he's having some sort of, like, mental health issue that's, like, he's doing something to the wall that was, like, causing it to crack, but he's not remembering it.
I don't know.
Or maybe his mom is a little crazy, or maybe she's like abusive and he's
Yeah.
like shutting it out. And like the
Mhm.
things
Because
like
it's
he's like
just
getting on to
very. I
her.
mean, I think with. I think I agree with like the first one, right? Because he doesn't seem like this bad kid,
Yeah.
but you could tell that his mom believes that he's a bad kid. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like, is very quick to think that he's the one who did something.
Uh-huh.
So
But he's
it
like
might be.
scholarly, like he gets his homework done
Yeah.
on time. But then his
Mhm.
mom is also requiring that he wakes up at like 5 a.m. every morning. House has to be
Mhm.
perfect. So I wonder,
Right.
there's something there with him and his mom.
We're missing something.
We're
Something
Lotto.
we don't know what it is.
Right.
All
That was
right, what am I
good.
want to
I
read
like
next?
that.
That was good.
You want to read one more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, this one's real short, but it's a horror.
Okay.
Okay. Name of the short story is called Outside of My Window.
Okay.
There's a monster that sits outside my window during some nights. I do not know the creature's appearance, nor do I know its purpose. I'm not the bravest, so I dare not open my curtains to find out. I know it's a bad idea to do so. I'm a college student and I help my dad with his business in the free time. My day is so active that before midnight I'm already asleep without fail. It doesn't happen too frequently, but there isn't a pattern I know of. The monster always came past 2 a.m. and left at 3, but every antagonizing minute with it outside felt 10 times longer. I couldn't I could never stay awake past 1, no matter how much caffeine I had. I told my parents and they set me up with a psychologist, but that didn't help either. It happened again a few nights ago. I thought I was just dreaming or maybe crazy, but now I know better. I woke up and checked my phone. It was around 2 in the morning. My body felt cold, so I adjusted myself and I heard my bed creak. Then I heard a soft growl from outside. I stopped. The monster was back. It's always back.
Mm.
Always at midnight, always at night, stalking me, waiting for me to make a noise so it knows I'm awake. I stayed still, feeling overwhelmed. The beast scratched at the window, and the noise made me cover my ears. It made some horrifying gurgling noises as if it was trying to say something. It always does that, but I can never make out what it's trying to say, nor do I want to understand. I just want it to leave and never come back. Why is it always after me? At some point, the gurgling faded, and I started hearing some whispers. They conveyed some sort of meaning, but never a real word. It whispered promises of dark secrets, forbidden knowledge, still unintelligible. Unintelligible?
Mm-hmm.
Un, un, I'm saying that right?
Unintelligible. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, still unintelligible, still as unsettling. Yet somehow I knew, I always know, when it failed to convince me to look outside, the monster was upset. It always is. Then something new happened. I saw my door open, and the face of an old lady came out of the corner of the doorway. She glared at me, and I couldn't stop looking at her. I couldn't close my eyes. I couldn't move. I remember locking my bedroom door. My heart skipped a beat when I saw her neck stretch, her head, with that disgusting and scornful expression, approached me slowly. I could see how her neck stretched to impossible lengths with a cracking noise as it coiled around like a worm. The old lady opened her mouth, and I heard a fraction of her loud screeching. A fraction, because as soon as that horrid sound reached my ears, I woke up. It was the morning. I woke up feeling shook, but also full of energy. I told myself it was just a reoccurring nightmare, how it evolved to be even worse. I moved on with life, dreading the night where I dreamed of the creature once more. 2 days ago, I woke up and went downstairs for breakfast, only to find my mother looking pale as a ghost, my dad by her side, comforting her. When I asked what was going on, my mom told me that she had the same nightmare I did a few days back. She now understood why I was always so shaken by it. But all I could think of is how scary and bizarre that was. Then this morning, my dad had the same dream as well. It felt as if whatever this thing was spreading. I wonder if it was my fault this was happening. I don't know what to do anymore.
Mm.
Mm, mm. Not
Cause
everybody having the same dream.
right.
Right.
Cause that means it
So at
has
this
to be
point,
something bigger than you.
It's not mental, you
It's
know?
not. Yeah, no, no,
It's
no.
not
Can't
mental.
be.
Mm-mm. Yeah. So,
And y'all have to be in
and
sync somehow.
yeah, it's spreading. It's spreading. Okay, it went from him, the mom, to the dad. So,
We have a
no,
similar
there's
story
something
like that.
we do. We do.
Our house was
Should,
haunted.
should I tell him the story? Just right quick, or
Just,
should we
just
save it
real.
for another time? Okay,
I
okay, okay.
yeah, just go
Okay.
ahead and do it real
So,
quick.
I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all the story real quick.
Yes.
So this story is from the point of view of my dad, right? But I was in the story and my mother was in the story. So back in, I don't even know what year it was, but it was when my dad was stationed in Hawaii. He used to be in the Navy. So we lived in Hawaii for a few years. And as you know, in Hawaii, we lived on the Pearl Harbor base where
Mm-hmm.
that war took place. And we lived in military housing. So he said that one morning he woke up and he found me laying on the couch. And I usually slept in my room. And so he came to me while he was getting ready for work, so it was early in the morning. And he walks up to me, he's like, "Baby girl, why are you sleeping on the couch?" Right? And I told him, I was like, "Oh, while I was sleeping, I heard somebody whispering my grandpa's name um, at night, right?
Mm-hmm.
My grandpa's name is James, right? So, later that day, so he goes to work, comes home. Later that day, he goes to my mom and he tells my mom, like, "Hey, I found Kiana sleeping on the couch this morning. She said that somebody was whispering James in her ear."
Mm.
And my mom turns and looks at him and immediately just starts crying, right? Just horrified. And she says, "The same thing has been happening to me," right?
Was it just
So,
with Grandpa's name though?
yeah, it was, they were just saying James in our ear. So, yeah,
Interesting.
then like a few nights later, like it ended up happening to my dad as well. Like he also heard somebody whispering James in his ear. And at that point, my mom was just like, So my mom ended up calling, we are Catholic, my mother's Catholic,
Mm-hmm.
and she ended up calling like the father of the church to come and bless the house, which he did. And we never heard after that, we didn't deal with it again. But it was just crazy how all three of us had the same experience. And my mom always says, she's like, always listen to the kids, always listen to the
Yes.
kids when they have some type of paranormal
Didn't
experience.
she say
Because
something happened with the baby monitor too?
no, I don't remember that part. Mm-mm.
Interesting. But I will say, because I ended up having, we also did family trips to Key West.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There was one specific time that we went to Key West. I had to be maybe like fourth or fifth grade. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't wake up in time to go on the boat for the family fishing trip. Um, but I've always been very sensitive to energies. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I can walk into a place and feel that it's off, whether it's like living or not, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can feel like when I walk into a room, I can feel if there's tension. I've walked into houses and been like, your house is definitely haunted. Like, I can just
Mm-hmm.
feel that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
We stayed at a military housing because you can rent it out. You can rent it out just to stay for like a week or two if you're visiting. And we stayed in one place, which military housing is super old, okay? Um, and there's a lot of people that have been in and out throughout the years, right? Y'all, as soon as I walked into my parents were like, oh, okay, like this is gonna be your room. Never slept in it. Never slept in it. And I spent the day because they were just like out on this fishing trip in this house by myself. And I didn't have like the balls to leave. The only thing that I left for is my parents left me money to go get like some food at the convenience store. So I just walked up to the convenience store really quick and got myself like some frozen Chinese meal, brought it back home, popped it in the microwave, ate it, right? That was it.
Mm-hmm.
I refused to go upstairs by myself. And I refused to stay upstairs. And when I was downstairs during the day, because this was like an all day thing, when I was downstairs, maybe like later in the afternoon,
Really?
footsteps from upstairs. And it was the darkest, like, masculine energy. Like, it was like whoever was there, or like whatever was there, not necessarily that they didn't want us to like be there, but I felt very unwelcomed. I felt very uninvited. I felt very, and it could have just been like residual energy from like whoever like lived there. Like, I definitely believe in that too. But I just distinctly remember it feeling so, so, so dark in there. So I 100% believe that there was something going on. And I even ran into a girl that I used to work with, like not last year, but like a couple of years ago. And she too was like a military brat, and she swore up and down. She was like, I will never, ever, ever step foot in military housing because every place that I had lived in was haunted. And she had lived in Hawaii. She had lived in Norfolk. And she lived one more place that was like further. It was like out west. Are there any like bases in like Wyoming or anything
There's
like that?
like Washington. There's Washington.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, with a W. Yeah, that makes sense. She lived somewhere too out west, and she said everywhere that she lived, it was haunted.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but I can only
Yeah.
imagine, like, because the military.
Yeah, because it, like Cheyenne said, they might use like the same buildings for like military housing for years. Like they'll go in and like upgrade it here and there, like inside, but they won't destroy those buildings and rebuild. They use the same exact buildings forever.
And who
So
knows? And even like as far back as that, like not everybody that was going into the military, like that wasn't necessarily seen as a career path then, but rather something that you were drafted for at the time.
yeah.
So I can only imagine like people battling with things like PTSD, alcoholism, like all of that stuff, and just it being held in those houses.
Yeah. Right.
Ah,
I'm following that.
crazy. Okay, so I have my second short story. This one is one of the more popular ones that came out this month. It's speculative fiction. This is called The 347 Email. Okay. The tickets are not the worst thing about my job. It's the clock. The longest minute of the day is 3:47. Too far from 5 to feel hope. Too near to it to worry about initiating anything new. It is the one in which you sit at your computer and find yourself reading the same line with 4 different font sizes and instances, yet cannot tell what it is about. That's when the first one came. No subject, sender, tomorrow at --. Body, one line. Don't go home on the highway this evening. There's an accident at KM 14. You'll be stuck for 2 hours. I almost didn't read it. I receive 30 or 40 emails a day, and 2 or 3 of these are important. But there is something about the particularity. KM 14, 2 hours, that made me pause. I took the back road, habit, I told myself. The following morning, someone spoke of the accident, KM 14, 2 hours of gridlock. I didn't tell anyone. They kept coming, the same time every day, 3:47 p.m., again, clockwise. Pantry coffee finished this morning. There is a backup jar in the cabinet above the microwave, 3rd shelf behind the Milo. There was. At 2 p.m., Pak Agus will summon you to his office. He's not angry. He just needs the printer fixed again. Bring the spare toner. He did. I brought it. He looked at me like I was a genius. I began to wait until 3:47, like I wait until Friday. I'd minimize my tab, sit back, watch the clock tick over. The email would land. I'd read it. There would be a clamping of something in my chest. It was the only thing that happened in my day that seemed to count. I know how that sounds. I'm IT. I know how emails work. I tried tracing it once. The account was on our own server, created 6 months ago. The credentials used were mine. I stared at that for a while. Then I closed the tab. And some things you do not investigate because you have a fear of what you will not discover. Others you do not explore because you have a fear to do so. I choose not to know. And honestly, for a few weeks that was fine. Then last Tuesday, 3:47 p.m. My sad desk lunch was halfway through. Nazi padang, padang, I guess that's a type of meal, went bad. The food you eat without being able to taste because eating by yourself at your desk on the fourth day of the month begins to seem like a character. Then the ping came. I opened it before I even finished chewing. You won't make it home tonight. I put the fork down. Before you go, check the B2 stairwell. Do not take the elevator. Please. Please. It had never said please before. I sat with it for 2 hours, told myself it was nothing, someone messing with me, a glitch. A joke of an intern who grinned too much, but at 4:58, the sacred minute, the minute the entire floor was once again alive, everyone began to pack up, the zip of bags, the relief in people's voices, see you tomorrow, drive safe. A Makan Duluga? I don't know what language that is. Kind of
It's
sounds
either
like Filipino.
it does. It might be Indian.
I'm gonna look it up real quick. Indonesia. Okay.
Mm.
I looked up the dish. It's an Indonesian dish. It actually looks really good. It's got some curry in it. Okay. I didn't move. At 5:11, when the floor was empty and the fluorescence buzzed over no one but me, I took the stairs. B2 smelled like a damp cement and fumes. My footsteps were too loud. I pushed through the fire door. Why did you not leave with everybody else? Because I'm not leaving by myself if I get an email like that.
Right. Especially if somebody tell me I'm not gonna make it home tonight.
Yeah.
Oh. Okay.
I'm back up. My footsteps were too loud. I pushed through the fire door into the parking basement and halted. The door of the elevator was open. Not broken open, not ripped, just ajar, patient, as it had been awaiting someone to press the button without first seeing. I stood there until my hands ceased their trembling. On the drive home, I kept thinking about the timestamp 6 months ago, my credentials. Here's the thing about working IT. You see patterns. And the pattern here I'd been refusing to look at was simple. The account was opened half a year ago. The emails began half a year ago. And the only person who knew exactly what I needed to hear at any rate, whenever I needed to hear it, was me. The person I was 6 months ago sitting at the same desk, having the same cold lunch, who knew that one day, 3:47, I would need someone to tell me something. I take the back road, bring the toner, don't get in the elevator, please. I'm almost home now, and I'm trying hard not to think about what I'm going to do when I get there. Whether I'll sit down at my laptop, whether I'll open the admin panel, whether 6 months from now some version of me is going to need to know something I can only find out tonight.
So it's like future him sending him emails then. Right? That's what he's assuming.
Like past him, sending himself emails to future him. Or maybe. Well, no, he said whether 6 months from now, some version of me is going to need to know something that I can only find out tonight. But that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah, that one was good. I like that.
That was good.
Because it does make you wonder, like, but I feel him. But here's the thing, right, is that sometimes logic does not bring us to the actual conclusion that it is.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, do you think that was another version of himself speaking at the end of the short story?
Ooh.
Like, do you think we kind of, after, like, he was leaving to go home that night, do you think we switched POVs to, like, the different version?
Maybe.
Or was that him just having, like, a realization, like, oh, this is another version of myself speaking to me, and that's how I know what I need to do, or that's how it knows what needs to happen?
Yeah. But I guess to his point, right, is that in all of the emails, it's not, it's like, is it telling the future, or is it something that, like, has happened? Because he was talking about pattern recognition, like, you begin to notice the patterns. So it's like,
Yeah.
okay, don't take the highway. He said that he doesn't really take the highway anyways, that he takes the back roads. But I wonder, you know, sometimes you're like, oh, let me just take the highway for whatever. So maybe it's just like a reminder, like, don't take the highway again. It's but then the whole you won't make it home tonight, that's a little,
I know.
but then again with like his boss, like that is also something like, oh, you know, make sure you bring toner, because every time he summons you to his office, it's been because he needs, you know, the printer.
So it's just like,
Yeah, the only thing that kind of like is out of that is the you won't make it home tonight. Before you go, check the B12 stairwell and don't take the elevator. Please, please. And it's like, okay, well, I mean, we don't know how often like he takes the elevator.
right. Yeah, I don't know.
But that is interesting.
I don't know. Yeah, it leaves a lot of room for speculation, I guess.
Yeah. But why would he not remember him making the emails?
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out too, because it says 6 months ago. I keep thinking about the timestamp. 6 months ago, my credentials.
Yeah.
The account was open half a year ago. The emails began half a year ago. The only person who knew exactly what I needed to hear at any rate, whenever I needed to hear it, was me. The person I was 6 months ago, sitting at the same desk, having the same cold lunch, who somehow knew that one day at 3:47 I would need someone to tell me, take the back road, bring the toner. Yeah, I don't know.
And he also
I'm confused.
yeah, but that's the interesting thing too, is that when we start off, he says that he already is talking about 3:47 before he starts getting into the emails of like, it's the longest minute of the day.
Yeah, too far from 5. Yeah.
But then to
That's when
send
the first
yourself
one
so
came.
many is like you would have
So it has to be him, because he knows himself so well to know, like, 3:47. I just hate that time.
Yeah.
At 3:47 is the best time to send these emails. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. But because it could just be someone that's so like stuck and trapped in the mundane that like they just forget. Like, oh, here goes another email. But it could be. I mean, it could be anything.
It could be anything.
That was so good.
Yeah, I hope there's a part 2 to that.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start reading more
short stories. Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to start reading more short stories.
I know. Next time we do this, I'm gonna really read a bunch of them so I can come to you guys with the best ones.
Yeah. You know? People even do the creepypasta.
Creepypasta?
Yeah, it's like scary short stories. But like told from a point of view where it's like you can't tell if this is like a short story, if this really happened.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Very good.
Okay.
Very good stuff. Yeah. I like it.
But
I like it a lot.
We hope you guys enjoyed this different episode that we uploaded. If you guys did, you know, leave a comment. We never get comments.
We never get comments, y'all, and like, please let us know.
Right.
Let us know if you like it, or at least like give it a thumbs up. If you like it, at least give it a thumbs up. Let us know that you like it so that we can do more content like this.
Yeah, so we know this is the content you guys like. So, yeah.
And look out for our shorts. Look out for our TikToks.
Subscribe. Yeah.
Let us know if you guys
comment, subscribe.
Yeah, we're also wanting to try like dive into the vlogging scene.
Yeah, just to like get to know us a little bit better, you know, what we do on a day-to-day. Reading with us, our reactions when reading. So,
what do they call it? Real life. What was it?
Real life journalism.
Real life journalism.
Boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground journalism.
So.
Let us know. We'll see you in the next video.
Yeah, see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.